Well, good morning, beautiful wildlings. Aja Vansiki here of Rewilding, and I facilitate conversations that ignite your authentic living, lifestyle, spiritual practices, all of that stuff. Okay, so I decided to hold a live Q and A today because I sent out an email asking a question, and I got back a just a slew of questions, statements, comments, and just needing a lot of clarity and help for different situations that people are going through. And so I thought that instead of answering them, because a lot of them were, they were kind of the same questions, they were just worded differently. So I decided to go ahead and do this Q&A and to send it out to everyone who asked questions. And truly, I believe that there is so much healing in sharing, and a lot of times we don't want to share because of guilt or the shame. We want people pointing fingers at us and making comments or having unkind thoughts about us. So we don't tend to share very often. But what I've found through being in quite a few sister circles, and what I found in being in the platforms and situations of being able to share, that it has profoundly changed my life and has allowed me to heal in just a beautiful way, in a profound way, because I don't think that I would have actually been able to move forward in my life the way that I have if it was not for the sister circle type of settings that I've been in. So I've been doing lives for quite a while, and I don't know what's going on, but it seems like when I'm doing lives from my computers, which I do most often, that it is not actually filtering right. It's not, the connection doesn't seem to be right. So if you guys are on and you see that that there's a lot of problems with the live, then please let me know, because I can see something going on with the video itself, but I can't actually hear anything. So I don't know if it's not producing properly. So I want to welcome you guys here today. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really grateful that you're here live or on the replay. This is really about you. This is really about what you're needing in your life. And this is really about your growing. One of my most essential goals in my life is to share my journey, my experiences, my pathways, and the way that I do things, in hopes that it will actually spark or ignite the fire in you that you need to help you change your life in a way that is beneficial for you. So with that, I want to go ahead and start off with a prayer that I like to say before I go forward with anything. And that is, may this conversation be of the highest benefit to you and to I and to all in our rewilding and reconnecting with our divine guidance, so that we can live our lives in a way that feels beautiful for us. Okay, so I'm trying to actually see if this is actually going well on Facebook, and I don't see me at all. I don't know why. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong thing. Actually, I think I am. I'm looking on the wrong page. All right, let's try this again. All right. So let me see. Okay, yeah, I can see. It looks like the feed is not too bad. But this background is awful. If you've been on any of my lives, then you know that this is a new setting for me. And that's actually a subject I really want to talk to you guys about in another in another live today. It's really just about the questions that you guys have been asking me. What's going on with this background just actually might come up in the conversation, because I'm so dying to share. And actually I talk about it quite often, but not everyone knows what's going on here. But I really can't wait to share that with you. But I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the questions. I wrote them down, and when my icky handwriting, as you can see that I wrote the questions down, and it looks horrible. So if you see me stuttering or hear me stuttering over my words, it's because I can't read my handwriting. Yes. Okay, so here is the first question. I feel like I need to reevaluate my life, but I don't know why or how to figure things out. Okay, I don't use names unless you guys tell me I can use names, because I do understand that these are personal feelings. These are personal situations and challenges that you guys are having. I would like to use your names, but only if you tell me that you can. So for these questions, I have not asked anyone if I could use their names. So if this sounds like a question that you've asked, or it sounds similar to a question that you've asked and you want to chime in, then please feel free to do so. And if not, then just listen for your question and your answer. Once again, I do want to say that some of the questions were relatively the same, so I just chose a question and just went with it. Okay, so again, let me read it. I feel like I need to reevaluate my life, but I don't know why or how to figure things out. Okay, so let's start with this. Why is it coming up for you now? I always go through a process of just what I call dumbing down. And really what this whole process of dumbing down does, it just basically takes you back to your rewilding and getting connected with who you are. So if you're feeling that things need to be reevaluated in your life at this time, then you definitely need to sit down and just ask yourself why. Kind of feel through it. What's coming up for me? What is going on in your life right now that is making you feel like you really need to reevaluate your situation in life? Could it be that right now, with the way things are going in your life, that it's come to a point where you're just fed up. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And now the feelings have surfaced to the point where it's not just like a little bit of a thump. It's like a knock on the head saying, hello, I'm here. And I'm trying to tell you that there's a better way for you to live. So just start asking yourself that question. Why is this coming up for me? What's going on in my life that is making me feel like I need to reevaluate my whole situation? Okay, start there. Always, 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 I want you all to consider this, that you have to start somewhere. And when you begin, when you put that one foot in front of the other and you just start, that is the best place for you. Every point in our lives, we are where we are supposed to be. We are supposed to be learning what it is we're supposed to be learning. We're supposed to be connecting with whatever it is we're supposed to be connecting with. And we're supposed to be supporting and being of service in whatever way that's coming up for us to do so. So always just remember that as simple as these steps may sound, just a starting point is really all it takes to begin changing your world, okay? So just start by asking yourself a simple question. What's coming up for me right now? Why do I feel like I need to reevaluate? What's going on in my life right now that's making me feel like things need to change? And when you start listing them out, then you'll start to see what's going on and where you can possibly start at, okay? Okay, so the next question is, I feel like I have a blind spot or a brick wall that is keeping me from doing whatever I am supposed to be doing. Big one, let me tell you, I have felt this way over the last few months with having a brick wall up. It's like, I feel like I've come full circle in my business, in my life, really, because a few years ago, I was a spiritual life coach. And then this year I started web designing, and I started helping people, women, free-spirited women, get back to the business building basics so that they can start a business on the right foot. Something that I wish that I had when I started my life coaching business, because it's not something that I had. I didn't have not a one business building basics. I went straight to everything that everyone was telling me to do without understanding exactly what I needed to be doing this for, but without knowing that I was unable to build that foundation, so we always need to build a foundation. And it's no different when it comes to our lives. So for me, I feel like I've come full circle from starting off as being a spiritual life coach, going through all the business coaching type of titles and things that I've had, visibility and all that kind of stuff, visibility expert. And now I'm coming back to being not a spiritual life coach, because I actually don't want to be a coach. I just want to be a facilitator of conversations. But it's come full circle. And one of the reasons why I feel like it's come full circle is because I did have that blind spot. I did have that brick wall up to what I was supposed to be doing. So I totally understand this question from a personal point of view where I'm going through in my life right now. So this is what I want to tell you. Everything that I share here is just about my experiences, my practices, and the way that I do things. That's the only way that I can help you, is through sharing with you what I've been through and the solutions that I've come up with to help me to get out of my challenges and my struggles, and hope that if you try it, it will help you as well. Everything that I share here is not for everyone, and I do understand that, but you'll never know if you don't try. You never know if you don't actually build that foundation to decide if what I'm saying to you is something that you actually do want to try, okay? So here's what I did to kind of help me get back to a point where I can punch past that brick wall and take off the blinders, or actually, I should say, put the blinders on, so that I'm not looking to the right and to the left. I had to put those blinders on. And what I did was go back to how I wanted to feel. So once again, before I go further in telling you what it is I did, I want to read the question again, okay? I feel like I have a blind spot or a brick wall that is keeping me from doing whatever I am supposed to be doing. So how you get past that is to go back to figuring out how you want to feel in everything. And I do mean in everything that we do. It's all about the end result. And that end result is what? It's about how that thing is going to make us feel. That new car that we want. It's not about having a new car. It's about how that new car is going to make us feel. That big, beautiful mansion or house or whatever it is that how you want to, the space that you want to live in. It's not about the price or where it's located or what's in it. It's not about any of those things. It's about how all of those things are going to make you feel. So what it is that you're supposed to be doing can only be connected with your truth when you find that out, when you find what your truth is. And the way that you find that out is just by going back to how you want to feel. I cannot tell you how many times I had to sit down with myself, a notebook, a paper, a pen, some markers, some color pencils, everything, and just kind of just sat and just wrote out how I wanted to feel. The reason why I did it so much was because this process was so simple that I overcomplicated it. I overthought it. I'm a Virgo. I will overthink how to boil water. I truly will. I will overthink my way into chaos. So it was really hard for me to really accept this perspective of making your goals and coming up with your life plan based off of the way that you want to feel. How freaking simple is that? It was such a simple idea and concept that I couldn't deal with it. And that's not to say that it was, that I had all these problems. It was to say that practice makes progress. Okay, so you get that? It was something that I had to learn. I had to go through an unlearning process of the chaotic and complicated way and learn, relearn, reconnect, rewild myself back into the simplicity of the way that I want to do things in the way that is more fruitful for me and how I want to show up and be of service. So I said all that. What did I just say? Let me recap what all I just said, because I just said a whole bunch of stuff. I said that you need to figure out how you want to feel. And the way that you figure out how you want to feel is just by sitting down and writing out, how do I want to feel? And I have to say that that particular part is like honesty 101. Nobody's there with you. It's just you and your paper. Write it out. No one has to see it. Just write it out and just be completely honest with yourself. And if you find yourself going off course as to how you really want to feel, then look at what you wrote and say, just question it. Do I really want this? Or am I wanting this feeling because this is what I think I'm supposed to want? I want to give you an example. I started to help women with visibility in their business. One of the reasons why I was drawn to this was because I had this amazing, it was an amazing situation happen to me where I finally figured out that this thing right here, what I'm doing here, coming on live and talking, going on Zooms, having just sister circle type conversations and just talking and just conversating and just helping to be of service in this way, this was my sweet spot. Not blogging, not even podcasting, really, not to a certain extent. I still do podcasts because I do like to talk. But it wasn't like, it's like not my email list. That's not my fun spot. What else? Writing long posts on Facebook, like little mini blog posts. It's just not my thing. I don't like to write. I'd rather come on and do this kind of thing where I'm helping you by answering your questions or doing a Zoom. I have these wild moon gatherings every month, twice a month. And this is where we kind of work things out pretty much in this kind of way. We have a topic and we go through the topic and we connect the topic with our true selves. We kind of rewild right back into who the person is that we're supposed to be. So this is what I found is my sweet spot. I'm comfortable here. As ugly as this background is, and my hair, it's not even like right. And I've got on a sweater and I've just thrown some clothes and I've got on some leggings and I'm sitting in my bedroom. Okay. This is where I feel most comfortable in serving. So I say all that to say that I would never have come to that conclusion and I would never have been able to support women in figuring out how they can best be visible in their business if I hadn't sat down and said, well, what feels good to you? How do you want to show up? What feels good to you? And what kind of things can you do to help you feel that way? I wanted ease. I wanted to feel easy. I wanted to feel light. I wanted to feel natural. So when I think about that in my life or in my business, I ask myself, what kind of things would allow me to feel light and easy? What kind of things would allow me to feel natural, that I can just kind of show up naturally as myself? And this was one of the things that came up. So ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself, how do you want to feel? Okay, just how do you want to feel? And then just from there, once again, it's always step number one, just one step, one foot in front of the other. Just always, please, please, please. I implore you to just think about that. I know it sounds crazy that these answers that I'm giving you, they just sound completely simple, right? So simple. But because we overcomplicate things, and this is part of my journey, is to actually get back to a point where I've simplified my life, which is, again, why I'm in this space right here. There's a whole nother conversation. But because there's so much information out here, there's so much information out here for us to take in, for us to journey in. Not all of it is what we need. And there's, within all of this information that's out there, there's so much of everything telling us step by step what to do, step by step, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When a lot of times we don't need all those steps. We just need step 1 because we need to figure out those other steps for ourselves. Sometimes we do need extra help. We do need support where coaches and things like that come from. Sometimes we do, but a lot of times what we need first before we go and get to that point is we need a beginning to figure out who we are first. And then when you get to that coach, you'll first of all, you'll be able to pick the right coach one that is in tune with you and who you relate to, that can help you with what your needs are as the person that you are. That's number one. And number two, it won't be so much work because you will have already figured out this part. So the coach will be able to help you move into the strategy part of whatever it is you're trying to do in your life and your business. You got it? I hope you do. If you don't, then please just let me know. Just let me know whatever it is. If it's not connecting with you, then I'll be more than happy to explain more. Okay, let's move on to the next question, and it is, let me check the time. Okay. Can't read my handwriting. I have this problem where I don't ask for support until the situation becomes critical. Okay. So I feel you. I had a situation happen to me. I'm not ready to talk about it just yet. But it was a situation where one of my friends found out that I was in the situation, and she called me and she said, why didn't you tell me what's going on? And I knew that you were going through such and such, and I was waiting for you to call me because I thought that if you needed help, you would call me. And I said, I don't need any help right now. And which was the truth. I didn't need any help at that moment, because in my mind, I was waiting for things to become critical until I absolutely needed her. So, and so we talked about it for a minute, about how she could help me. And I did at the end, I did say, no, I don't need your help right now. But if I do, I really am very touched and happy that I can actually come to you if I need you. Right now, I have things figured out to a point where I'm okay with them, and I'm trying to work through them not getting critical. But if they do, then thank you very much for supporting me. So with that, I really shouldn't be waiting until things get critical. But sometimes I do. And so I understand that. I'm a human being just like you guys, even though I'm facilitating these calls and helping you to move through, I'm still a person. So you guys are also supporting me as well in a lot of the things that I'm still working through. And so what I have to say about the situation is, I think that a lot of times it comes down to guilt, comes down to shame, it comes down to self-worth. Okay. So I'm also working through that. And when I had a conversation with my friend about it, one of the things that really helped me to get past it was I called her up a few days later, and I said to her, so thank you for offering to support me. It wasn't easy for me to make that call. I didn't ask her for anything. I just wanted to say thank you for offering to support me, because I felt like it was taking me out of my shame and out of my guilt and helping me to build my self-worth by stepping up and just saying, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting me. Instead of coming in a negative, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do, and I don't know what I would have done had you not called. Just saying, thank you for supporting me. I appreciate that. It's kind of like something that I learned, and I don't even remember who said this. I think it was Maru Ibachella, and I think it was a call that someone had. I don't know. I don't remember who this person was, but it was somebody that I think was in her group. And she said that, I think, because my mind ain't right when it comes to remembering people, but I think she said, when if you show up late, for an appointment or something like that, don't think about it or change your perspective. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I'm late, then say, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for waiting for me. Thank you for being open for me. And I know it sounds weird not to say I'm sorry for being late, but it kind of changes perspective and moves you out of the guilt and into how can I put this? It moves you out of the guilt and into the having a more self-worthy attitude without it being destructive to the other person. Does that make any sense to you, or did I completely just lose all my English? Okay, So it moves you out of the guilt. Let's try this again. It moves you out of the guilt and into the positivity of expressing yourself in a way that lifts you up and also lifts up the other person. Okay? So instead of saying I'm sorry for being late, tell them thank you. Thank you so much for holding space for me. Thank you so much for waiting for me. So I really like that. And so when I called my friend and said, instead of saying I'm so sorry for not asking you for help, I kind of changed it around to uplift myself and my worthiness and say, thank you so much for offering to support me. And not only does that make me feel good, it made me feel so good, but it also allowed her to recognize that I hold her as a source of strength as well, and that she's important to me too. So think of it that way. So when you are needing help and you don't want to wait to the point where everything's so critical, then think of how you can come to people in a way that is uplifting for you and them. That was a hard one for me. Okay. So the next question is my life feels like it is in total shambles and I need to be unfucked. It needs to be unfucked. Mine too, girl. Mine too. Oh my gosh. I need to unfuck my life and my business so very much. So how do we do that? How do we unfuck our lives and our business? Well, the first thing we need to do is to go back to the whole dumbing down and rewilding. And rewilding, I chose this word because I think that we hold ourselves in these containers, and it's not all of our faults. Most of it is about what we've been taught and how we're supposed to be. And like even me saying the word unfuck, you're a lady and you're not supposed to curse, But we've been held in these containers and been told what kind of people we're supposed to be. And a lot of the identities and people that we are naturally has been suppressed. And we've been told that we're not supposed to be that way. I hope I'm not offending any of you here, but just like the mindset that women aren't supposed to get horny. We're not supposed to masturbate. Men, they start masturbating when they're 12, 13 years old. They know all about their bodies. We don't know anything about ours because we're not supposed to touch ourselves, okay? So that's something that we've been taught, but in reality, we're suppressing our natural state. We're human beings. Of course we're going to want to touch ourselves. Of course we want to understand what's going on with our bodies. So in just that analogy alone, you can understand why you're so fucked and why you need to get unfucked in your life and your business. And that's what rewilding is all about. Rewilding is all about helping you to figure out where your truth lies, where your authenticity is, and how you can show up in your truth. So how do we unfuck our lives? How do we unfuck our businesses? We go back to the rewilding process, and in that is self-discussion and discovery. And just like with these calls right here, this is a part of you unfucking yourself. This is a part of you getting the information that you need so that you can start to put one foot in front of the other, begin the process so that you can get unfucked. Oh my gosh, that's funny to me. Okay, so the self-discussion and discovery process is pretty much everything that we've been talking about right here. It's about asking yourself questions. It's about dumbing down. How do I want to feel? What kind of life do I want to live? What are my beliefs and values now? And I say that now because what you believed when you were 20 is definitely not going to be the same things that you believe now at the age that you are. You've been through experiences, you've been through situations, you've had lots of knowledge, you've become wiser to the world. So why would you still hold the same beliefs to be truth and self-evident? What is that? Is that the Constitution? Anyway, so that's one of the reasons why we rewild. We go back to who it is that we were told we're not supposed to be, because in our true state, those are the people that we really are. We are the shamans, we are the witches, we are the wise women, we are the healers, we are sexual beings, we are intuitive, we are psychic. We have a connection to the divine that men just don't have. And I'm not saying that to man hate, man bash. I'm saying that because this is something that I do believe with all of my heart that it was recognized a long time ago. And that's the reason why patriarchy is the way that it is when it comes to women, because the divinity that we have is not something that we have to work so hard at. It just comes so naturally to us. So all the rules, all the laws, and everything that comes about in these holy books, the Quran, the Torah, the Bible, a lot of them really are not for us. A lot of them are for the men because our divinity comes from a different path. So that's what I believe. That's my truth. Once again, the only thing I can share with you is my knowledge, my experiences, the way that I live my practices. All of this is my journey. So I'm coming to you from a space of my journey, once again, in hopes that it will ignite the memory, the remembrance of who you were before you forgot, before they told you who you were supposed to be. I'm sure you've heard that saying before. It sticks with me like glue because it is so true. So in all of that, what I'm trying to say, to recap that, it is all about you figuring out what your beliefs are and going with one step, going with one step to try to live that. That could look like you just adding in one thing a day or one thing a month, I should say, onto your calendar of doing something that is the truth of what you believe. So, for example, I'm Muslim and I don't go to religious services very often. One of the things that I started doing was sister circles. I started sitting in circle because this felt more true to me than being in the masjid sometimes. Not all the times, but sometimes. So it was just one little step. One little step. That's all it takes is just the beginning. Because the reason why I say that it only takes one little step is because when you take that one step, it'll help you to start building the memento that you need to continue taking more steps and more steps and one foot and one foot and one foot and one foot. You get what I'm saying? But you have to take that one step first. So figure out where your values are. Sit down again and grab your notebook and your pen and write out, what it is that you believe. And not what it is that you think you're supposed to believe because you want to be with the divine feminine, or you want to be pro-woman and all of whatever is going on in the world. And an awakened woman doesn't have anything to do with that. It has to do with you personally and what your values are and what that means to you according to how you want to live your life. Okay, so moving on. Okay, I have so many obligations being a stay-at-home mom that I don't have any time for myself. I feel you. My fingers. I feel you. Okay, so what happens when you are one of those people who has responsibilities to everyone that you seem to not be able to put yourself in that list of responsibilities? Why does that come up? Why does that happen? It goes back to, again, being taught about who you're supposed to be and the kind of life that you're supposed to live. So I know this. I've had this happen to me in my role as wife and mother and everything else, of what my duties and responsibilities are supposed to be according to what someone else has told me. Once again, this comes back to you being true to yourself, you being honest with yourself. Just because somebody told you that this is the lifestyle that you're supposed to live, this is what it takes to be happy, doesn't mean that that's what's situated for you, what's suitable for you, I should say. Doesn't mean that. What it means is that that kind of life was good for that person. Whoever it is that's telling you that, that's what they want to do, or that's what they understand to be the truth for themselves. You have to find that out for yourself. Once again, how do you find that out? It's by rewilding. You going back to a point of figuring out who you are and how you want to live and your authenticity and your truth. And you get there by going through the self-discussion and discovery process. And this is the whole rewilding. Rewilding is really about going deep into your innateness, your birthright, and remembering who you are and figuring out how to live as that person. It's not about, as I said before, it's not about connecting with the feminine divine. And if that's not your thing, that's just not your thing. It's really about what feels good to you. What kind of life feels good to you? What kind of things that you want to do that feel good to you? So this is what I would suggest for you. This is something that I had to do on more than one occasion. And it was really hard. It wasn't easy because I still was holding in my head and in my heart, kinda, that I was wrong for wanting to live differently. So it took me about 5 years to kind of get out of this. It really did. It may not take you as long, but it took me about 5 years to get out of it, out of the container that I had been put into, that I bought into. Oh, I need to step into that container because that's what's going to make me happy. That's what's going to make me closer to God. That's what's going to give me the divine guidance for my life. No, what's going to give you this divine guidance for your life as to how it is that you're supposed to be living, how you're supposed to be managing your time, is all about you feeling the way that you want to feel. I have 3 kids, multitude of ages. I have a grandchild now. I had a husband, I had a mother-in-law, I had in-laws, sisters, and brother-in-laws, and I had my sisters. I had my own family and his family, everything. Had all of that. And then there was me. So I truly understand the whole time management issue. It's a hard one to deal with. But you have to start. And this is what I suggest that you do. This is what I did. You got to get a little bit selfish. And you have to start with the one-word sentence that actually got me back about 85% of my time. Actually, there's an audio that I did about this, and if you're interested, then please let me know. I will give you the link to get it. And that one-word sentence is no. Can you? No. Can I? No. But why? No, because I said no. How hard is that? It's fucking hard, right? It is so hard to say no. But people say no to us all the time. They say no to us by not answering. They say no to us by not being considerate. They say no to us by not being of service in a way that we need. They say no to us all the time. We just don't recognize it as that. We recognize it as they have busy lives. Their schedule is busy. Oh, they can't accommodate me. They do it in so many ways that we've made excuses for them, but they've said no. We have to start learning how to say no. Okay? So one of the simplest ways, again, so simple, so dumbing down, so simple that you're going to overthink it. Trust me, I did. You're going to overthink it, but it's just by simply going back to asking yourself what it is, how it is that you want to feel. And start to implement that. If these people are bringing things into your life that doesn't allow you to feel the way that you want to feel, then you got to start saying no. Start. Keyword. Start. 1 foot in front of the other. Just one. Say no to something. Say no to something every week. If it does not, you write it all out, how you want to feel. You come up with 5 words that describe how you want to feel, why you want to feel this way. And if people are asking you to do something that is outside the description of how you want to feel, then say no. I know it's hard. That's why I'm telling you to just start with one. One a week. One no a week. Oh, no. Not even I'm sorry. Just No. But why? But why? No. No. I'm gonna tell you, a lot of my friends don't even ask me to do stuff anymore. And people think I'm crazy, but those are not things that I want to do. So I just start saying no. 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 So they don't even ask me. People get to a point where they understand who you are because you have to teach them. You have to teach people how you want to be treated. You have to teach people who you are. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody else is living their life. They're living their lives around you. So you have to start doing the same thing. And where you start at is just by saying, no, no. It feels good. I promise you, it feels so good. After you have realized that you have put into place the moments of happiness for yourself by just saying no, it feels wonderful. Okay, last question I'm going to be able to take. And this says, I've recently felt unsure of myself and low confidence more than usual and need to get back on track. Okay, so this is a question that actually came up during the solar eclipse new moon a few weeks ago. And was it a few weeks ago? What's my calendar? Yeah, just last week. And so I actually did a Zoom gathering about this particular subject because it was coming up for everybody. It was coming up so much. Everybody was saying the same thing, me included, my roommate, my friends, everybody was saying the same things. And so I did a gathering, a live gathering to talk it out. And if you want that recording too, then please let me know. I will shoot that over to you as well. But this is the theory that I came up with. When you're trying to get back on track, as we say, that means that you were already there and you got knocked off and you're having a hard time getting back up on that horse, right? So what leads you to get knocked off that horse and off track is the insurity. It is the low confidence. It is the wondering what the heck is going on and the hows and the whats and, oh my gosh, what's going on. So when that happens, it's because there's something that you need to deal with. There's something that you've suppressed and that you've pressed down to the point where now, especially during a new moon, and it's a solar eclipse new moon, which means there's even more energy of it. New moons are about new beginnings. They're about planting seeds and all of the good stuff, all the new projects and everything. But if you're out of alignment, then these new beginnings that you're thinking, is supposed to be happening, they're not going to, because you haven't dealt with those things that have been suppressed. So it's all coming up. And it's saying, hello, look at me. I need to be dealt with. Hello, remember me? And then you can start to, once again, begin to put one foot in front of the other with your new beginnings. So figure out these things that are coming up for you, your unsurety, your low confidence. What is it? What is it? Why? What am I unsure about? For me, it was me being unsure if this direction that I'm taking is the right direction. Is anyone going to want to be in the Wild Moon gatherings? I've got a lot of people over here in my other Facebook group who really like this whole web design visibility mindset thing I've got going on over here. Should I just stay over here? Why am I trying to do this whole new thing? Why am I going back into the spiritual realm of business that I was in? It didn't work for me the first time. Or should I say, it didn't work very much for me the first time, not in the way I wanted. I got burned out. I was very unsure. You understand? Do you feel that way? I know that you have. Very unsure about what I should do about my kids moving back in. My two older kids, they moved back in. What does that mean for my life? What's going on? How should I handle that? Just so many things. So my roommate moved out, just what am I going to do? What's going on? So I had a lot of unsurety going on in my life at that time. And with my life, with my business, with money, with my kids, with my family, with me from head to toe, I'm a priestess. I'm a self-initiated priestess at that. What does that look like? Do I look like a priestess? Do I talk like one? I had a lot of unsurety going on myself. Very, very low confidence. But I had to deal with it. So that's the thing, is that you just have to deal with it. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's also not impossible. Okay? It's not easy, but it's not impossible for you to really start looking at what's going on. Why am I unsure? Really get to the heart of that. I mean, it's those are some simple questions, but those answers are hard as fuck. They are hard. Why? And why am I so unsure about things? What is going on with my confidence? Why do I have such lack of confidence in such and such a situation? Why is my confidence? Why am I lacking confidence in me wanting to pivot in my business? Why? I had to sit down and answer those questions for myself. Truth 101, honesty 101. Nobody's going to see any of those things but me. I had to really get honest with myself as to why I felt like I needed to look a certain way in order to be this priestess. I love Elaine Dowdy. She's a priestess. She's like one of my self-proclaimed mentors. She may not know she is, but she is. I love her. I don't look like her. She's a white woman from England. I'm a black Muslim woman from Georgia. Get what I'm saying? I don't look like a priestess. And I had to really go deep and down and really far inside to really understand my lack of self-worth in that low confidence. And I had to really do some soul searching and say, you are, because you say you are. You are a priestess because you know what you can teach people. You know how you want to teach them. You know everything that you've been through and that you've conquered is something that you can help other people with. You can call it whatever you want to call it. I choose to call myself a priestess. So that's all I have time for you guys today. So thank you so much if you're here on live or if you're here on the replay. Please go ahead and pop in questions. If you have any questions or if you're too shy to ask them, please go ahead and Facebook message me. I don't have a problem with that. Or shoot me an email at aja@sherewilding.com. And I will get your questions answered. If you are leaving your questions here in the comments, then I will get back to them over either this evening or by tomorrow. So I'm heading over to Instagram right now at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is That Boss Chick Aja is my Instagram handle. If you want to head on over there, I'm going to be talking about the number one tool that I use for authentic living and businessing. So thank you all for joining me. I appreciate you all being here. And once again, I hope that this conversation has been of the highest benefit for you and for me and for all in our rewilding and reconnecting to our higher power to receive the divine guidance for our lives. I'll see you all next time. Peace and blessings. Bye.